take it.
Welcome to the Finance Committee meeting of the Ascension Parish Council, November 12, 2019. Please stand for the opening prayer to be led by Councilman Kluart, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, as this night gets long, let's ask that we continue to have respect for each other and respect for the people of Ascension Parish. Lord, we ask that you look over everyone on this cold weather. We ask that everyone look to their neighbors side by side, especially the elderly and those in need, that they're taken care of through this weather. Lord, last but not least, we ask that you continue to look over all the veterans as we celebrated their day yesterday, and we do it once a year. But Lord, as Americans, we know the sacrifice that they've had and the value that they have. And it's with special intentions we ask that you look over to the Como family, the loss of Mr. Gerald Como. We ask that you take care of this family. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call, Ms. Dawn. Looks like everybody's here but Councilman Johnson. There are no.
Turner.
Oh, yeah, Councilman Turner, too. No chair additions tonight. Public comment, if you wish to comment on an agenda item, please come up to the podium, fill out a card, a red or green card, bring this up to the desk in the front, and you'll have 3 minutes to comment. General business, item number 5, to authorize a contract for Butler Snow LLP for legal services in the amount of $35,000 to create an economic development district. Mr. Daniel.
Mr. Chairman, all I want to say is, we've been working on these roads, the Edenborn Road and this new road going to Ashland, and I looked at many ways to try to pay for it, and this is a way we can pay for it. So this is what they're going to introduce tonight to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm passing around a couple of handouts. One of them is just a little primer on what an economic development district is. I actually got that off the Baton Rouge Business Report. It was one of the ads, so I thought it was pretty informative, so I passed it out. The other is a picture of the economic development district that we're trying to create. So the idea is we were looking for a way to pay for that Ashland connector road. And it kind of, if you see Lamar Dixon in that little map there, the Ashland Road's kind of in the middle of that of the area to Lamar Dixon on the right-hand side. So the idea was to put. We also built Edenborn as well, and of course Edenborn goes all the way to 44 where it gets onto the interstate, and that's a cutoff. So we're going to have to be there's going to be a lot of traffic on those roads, and we want to use it for maintenance. So what we're thinking is creating this economic development district that would generate some income to help us build the road and maintain the roads. And then if there's any money left over, it could even be used on some things at Lamar Dixon. I have Butler Snow here that can just going to explain the economic development district in more detail. But the next item is the ordinance that would create it. So I would like to call up Butler Snow and have them explain it to you.
Reader's Digest version.
Yes, sir. Well, that's kind of what I passed out.
Okay.
You'll get slightly more than the Reader's Digest version from Butler Snow.
Good evening. I'm Carmen Laverne with Butler Snow.
The creation of an economic development district is fairly simple. It's created by ordinance, just like any other ordinance that you do. They're primarily used for two purposes. One, probably more commonly known as a TIF. You can do tax increment financing through an economic development district. But I think lesser known, you can also levy taxes through it. And I think that's what is intended in this situation, to be able to levy taxes to do these improvements, both to the road and to Lamar Dixon. Again, it's formed by ordinance, and once it's formed, you can levy these taxes within the district without an election, assuming there are no electors in the district. So they're
So-
most commonly drawn, on developed sites, basically. Once you have retail, it can levy ad valorem taxes, sales taxes, hotel motel taxes.
So do we know what's being proposed here? Sales tax, ad valorem, what are we
I
talking
think the
about?
proposal is ad valorem and sales, but
Both?
certainly that's,
That has to be spent in the district, is that
it
correct?
has to be spent in the district.
Right.
And how much sales tax, how much ad valorem are you talking about?
2% sales and 5
Mills?
mills.
That's the
So-
max that can be levied. So certainly you guys have the discretion to levy up to that amount.
So what I'm trying to understand is, what are we proposing? Is that gonna be in the ordinance? How much are we gonna propose?
So the first step really is to create the district. It's really a two-step process.
Yeah.
First you want to get the district in existence, and once that happens, then the parish council would be the governing authority of the district, and they could meet.
So do
to
we know how
decide.
much the tax is gonna be?
No, what we wanted, I wanted to get y'all input on this bill. Now, besides this new land, Lamar Dixon itself, we could put a 2% sales tax on anything that we can tax over there, which would be mostly catering, beer or whatever. And this would be, perpetual money that we could get every year to pay for things. For example, St. Landry next year is gonna be overlaid for about $1 million,
Okay, Mr. Cluett?
Yeah, I guess Bill asked some of the questions I wanted to ask, but, I don't have a problem with the, economic development district, this is not a new concept. I just, where are we going with it? And, when are we gonna kind of have some kind of idea of what we plan? Because you want to generate money, so how much money do you
So
want
the
to
idea,
generate now?
so the idea, sir, would be able to create the district. Then the parish council could come back and levy the tax. You could levy the full tax, you could levy partial of the tax to help pay for it. It would be up to the council to decide exactly what they wanted to do at that point.
Yeah.
So we have the cost for the roads, we have the cost for the overlays, we know what it's going to cost to maintain. We could help make the decision on what tax that you would ultimately want to levy.
Okay, what is the cycle for this if we approve an economic development district tonight?
So,
Go to the full
well,
council.
so first you have to do
Yeah,
the
the
ordinance, and then you know how long so it takes a while to do the ordinance, and then it has to be advertised for 30 days as well. And then, of course, we're going to have to get it surveyed, we're going to get that land surveyed, if that's okay with the council to do the property that we have outlined. And then once all that's done, it'll probably be sometime in January.
It's a
that-
similar process for levying the tax. There
Yeah,
are notice
okay.
requirements, things have to be published.
I'm good.
that sort of
And
thing.
also, within this, the boundaries of this district is there any residential in
No,
there?
sir.
Just wanna
All
make sure the
undeveloped
public
property.
understand that it's not residential.
Yes, sir.
And, so, in other words, I guess the short question is, if we don't do this economic development district, are you saying that we're not gonna do that road?
No, we're building the road anyway, Councilman. It's
Just
already in
making
move
sure.
ascension. It's moving forward. We're
We-
just trying to come up with some money to help offset the building cost and then the maintenance cost.
Well, I believe the long-term effects of the economic development district for the good of the Lamar Dixon and the
Exactly.
area that's gonna definitely grow, I don't have a problem with it. Thank you.
And, Mr. Chairman, I think the bids are coming in on the 18th for the road. We're building the road. I'm just looking at the long term of things. We have no other additional money that we're going to pump into Lamar Dixon to fix things and stuff like that. It was just a way to generate some funds to keep things going. This road is definitely going to evaluate the property just like Edenborn did. So we're just looking to recoup some of our money.
Okay, Mr. Cagnalotti.
I don't know whether William or Kenny, the drawing shows, I guess it's the south side of the Edenborn extension? Is it only the south side that's included in the?
No, both sides except where when you first get on Edenborn, there's some residential to the left.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be in it.
So it's both sides?
We could do both sides, or we
Well,
could
it
just
doesn't
do the
show
one
both
side.
sides
I
on
didn't,
there.
this was just sort of a
It-
sketch,
Do we have
so
a
to
legal
speak.
description?
It'd be
And,
both sides.
we
But it
can talk about
includes, it
exactly
includes
what.
the new road from Ashland Road to St. Landry, right?
Yes, sir.
It includes that,
Yeah, that's this area right there.
right?
Outside the city limits.
Yep.
Extension.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this drawing, it's just a hand sketch.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Well, we
real
have to get it
general-
surveyed.
yeah.
This would be the area we get surveyed, and
But I
that's what would
think,
go in the
you know,
ordinance.
if it would change any, my suggestion is wait till we get let's get it surveyed and get it looked at before we move on anything, because it could change the parameter. I don't know if you're going further out, who's to say you're gonna make it bigger, or,
No, this is what we're gonna do. This is
okay.
what we're proposing.
I'm happy to make a motion to authorize a contract for Butler Snow to create this economic development district.
Got a motion and a second by Councilman Cagnalotti. Any further discussion, any questions of Mr. Joseph?
Yes. How long this economic development district would last? I mean, you mentioned TIF, and if you do that, and it's 25 years, and you generate enough money, and you have, or this gonna be renewable, or is for a lifetime?
Well, absolutely. The district itself would stay in place as long as you guys, you have the power to create it, you have the power to dissolve it. Mr. President.
In other words, okay, let's just say it would blow up and bring in all kind of money, and the road's paid for. You could take the road out of it if you wanted, and just keep Lamar Dixon to generate funds. But if you look at that area and all the money we spent so far and the money it's going to take to keep it up, it'll be many years before you want to resolve that, I think.
And I understand the many years, but if it's many years, it's 25 years or 50 years? That's all. I mean, it'd just be nice to know.
Is there a term for the tax, I think is what
No,
Mr.
it's-
Joseph.
The district is perpetual, Councilman.
But the tax.
But you can come back and say, we're keeping the district, but we're doing away with the sales tax.
But you could put a term on the tax. You could say
You
the
could.
ad valorem is for 20 years, or sales tax is for 10 years or
Right,
something.
and
Is
then you
that
could
correct?
do that.
Yeah.
You could put a term on the tax. I think the problem with putting a term on the tax is you want to get those taxes in place while you have no one living in the district. So, if you kick the can down the road and then you have to come back and renew those taxes and you have electors living in the district, then you have to bear the cost of having an election. So that would be the downside. I was explaining to them earlier on the 5 mil ad valorem tax, it will be just like every other tax levied by the parish council. So each year, you'll have to set that millage. Initially, you'll authorize to levy up to 5 mils if that's what you guys want to do. But each year, you can come back and set that millage. So if you see, it's generating more money than you need, you can always dial it back. And really the same with the sales tax. The sales tax doesn't have to be considered every year, but, your authority will be to levy up to 2%. And you can always come back and levy 1.5%, 1%, whatever you guys need.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Councilman Satterley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a follow-up question to Mr. Lambert's question, Todd's question about, there's a rough drawing here. I don't know if the public can even see this at home in front of us, but it doesn't have the legal description of the boundaries of the yellow lines that are on said drawing. So is the motion, Mr. Chairman, on the table that's been seconded to empower Butler Snow to go ahead and develop the EDD.
Yeah.
And later find out where these boundaries actually reside
So I think
legally by
there's a-
description, or
Mr.
how's that
Gaines
There's
could
gonna
a-
work?
probably answer it, but my guess was he wanted to get some authority that you guys wanted to go forward before spending the money to get the survey.
Right. This is generally the area, and as, you know, specific as we could be on this map that we kind of crudely drew prior to the hearing. But if you approve the contract, then I will go out and get the area surveyed.
So we're just approving a contract, and later on, we'll actually approve the EDD.
Right, the next
The next
item.
agenda item.
The next agenda item is the ordinance. Now, it was just a sort of a model ordinance so that you could see, and we would put the boundaries in there. But if you approve the ordinance, you know, then it goes to layover, then it goes to first reading, then it goes to second reading. So by that time, we would have plenty of time to actually know what the boundaries look like, and you could make a decision when you vote on it.
Okay, and I'm looking now at the second, I was aware of the next item on the approval, but it still doesn't have legal description even at that point in time either.
Right, but by the time you vote on it, Councilman, we'll have the legal description down. It's, as you know, it's a long process for an ordinance.
Because, I mean, when something
It's all
says approval of
commercial.
ordinance, I'm like, what ordinance? It's not a live thing in my notice
No.
packet. It's just-
No, I think this is not approval of ordinance, but
No,
this
well,
is,
I
this
jumped
is
down
to,
I
to
jumped down-
create an ordinance, is what it would say.
And it's all commercial property at this time. That's why we want to create it and survey it, and we'll give it to y'all for approval.
You guys talked to Councilman Turner, this is in his district. Did anybody talk to him?
No, I'm not sure if he knows about it or not, but I will talk with him. But y'all got plenty of time.
Mr. Chairman, the owners of this property is all commercial. They have no involvement in this decision whatsoever?
I can't answer that.
So they really don't. The only way, because, you know, under Louisiana law, the only way you have a right to vote on things like this is to reside in the area. And you don't vote solely by owning property, so they would have to live there. So they really, their only recourse, for lack of a better term, is to, public hearing is required, right, to adopt the ordinance. They could show up and say they have a problem with it, but really, that's the only avenue.
Okay, further questions, discussion? Mr. Lawler?
Is there a reason we're not looking at the north side of St. Lane, or whatever the street is? Yeah.
Edenborn
I
Extension.
mean, no, but I know, is there a reason? I'm looking for the reasoning.
No, it's going to be surveyed. It's all commercial.
I don't understand, but William had said that's how it's gonna be, and then,
It's,
That's both sides.
Hard to draw on my,
He j-
okay, so I'm looking at this map.
right,
So this will also be included?
right, just right on that side of the road, yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure both sides are included.
Yes.
I'm just,
And if you remember, on Edenborn, we spent in the neighborhood of $6 million, and we like $3 million on the other road right now, you know, total cost.
Yeah.
Before it's over.
okay, any further questions or discussion? Have a motion and a second. Any objections? Hearing none, that motion's adopted. Item number 6. Approval of ordinance. Let's, I need to change the wording of this. Approval to create an ordinance, creating Ascension Parish Economic Development District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Welcome.
I'll make that
We got a
motion.
motion by Councilman Cagnalotti, second by Councilwoman Casso. Any discussion? Any questions? Any opposition? Motion's adopted. Item number 7, authorization to increase the contract with Brazil, Sassy, and Wilson LLP by $300,000 for payment to their subcontractor, Ernst & Young. Misspelled that. To generate financial analysis for Ascension Sewer. Ms.
So
Casso.
moved.
Ernest might be a new partner.
Oh, it could be. They finally put the vowel in there.
That's my motion, sir.
So you're making a motion
I'll
to, I got a second by Councilman Kluat. Any discussion, Mr.
I'd like some
Lambert?
explanation of what are we paying 300,000 for? I know it's
Okay.
an addition, I know it's, all I'm looking at is what I see here, and it's, you know,
Yeah, Councilwoman Castle.
There is a very detailed, lengthy financial analysis that was necessary for us to look at our financial arrangement with, potential financial arrangement with Bernhard Capital Partners. And so Ernst & Young was given that task. They did it in a very short amount of time compared to what they thought they needed or would have been desirable. And so this is the cost of that, and you will see it tonight in the Utilities Committee meeting.
So basically, what we're saying is, they have already done the work, and now they're coming back to get paid
Well, it was,
without us up front knowing how much they were gonna charge.
we were
After the fact, in other words, we're paying them after the fact.
correct.
Now,
There was,
See
there were,
Mr. Daniels
I
on
would
it.
just say that, Councilman, that they didn't do the work without a contract. It's just, it's more of a change order situation. They ended up doing a lot more work,
It doesn't say change order on this.
right?
It says to increase the contract.
It doesn't say
We're
change
increasing the
order.
No,
contract.
that's right.
but that's basically what happened, is they began their process. We needed this in a much more timely fashion. We needed a much more
Well, I guess
in-depth
that's
review.
another question. Why did we need it in such a fast pace here? Why did we need it that quick? We've been waiting 4 or 5 months or longer than that, and all of a sudden it in. Why did we need to get it done that quick?
Because we had a goal to have a Utilities Committee meeting tonight and have this material presented.
Mr., you finished, Tom?
Yeah, I'm finished with that.
Mr. Joseph?
yeah, I just wanted, Mr. Daniel, could you back up to the, I just want to clarify something so we can make sure we're on the same page here.
Yes, sir.
Maybe about 2 months ago, we gave a contract to Brazil and Sassy and Wilson for a
Correct.
certain amount of money. Then you
Correct.
came back, and then you increased that amount for 175 or whatever. Originally, you asked for like 300 and something $1,000, correct? Can we just go back with the, I think that's where the problem is.
I'm trying to remember it all. It got a little complicated.
That's right.
But, so, we had Brazil Saxy, and then we had, we actually had a different firm to do the financial analysis, and then they had a conflict, so we brought on Ernst & Young, and they're acting as a subcontractor to Brazil Saxy to preserve the attorney-client relationship on all the documents that were going back and forth. And they ended up doing a very detailed analysis. They even helped Brazil Saxy with a lot of the contractual items. So, kind of cost more money than we originally thought.
Okay. And Mr. Todd, I mean, me and you had a little brief discussion. Now all of it came back to me real quick right now. And basically, this was an issue with the contract with Sassy and Wilson. We gave it to them, but they was the contractor, and they paid all these people. They hired all these people based on the contract information. In the last committee meeting we had with utility, we put a rush on it to get it done. And so that extra cost is really, like he said, is a change of order to Saxon and Young. I mean, Saxon and Wilson,
Ernst, yeah,
contract,
that's correct.
not,
I do want
Ernst
to
and
point
Young contract. They never had one with us.
Right.
I need to point out
We all
that
know what
it
you're
says
talking about.
Ernest and Young, it should be Ernst and Young.
Ernst, okay.
Thank you.
And Saxy.
All right,
That-
Mr. Satterley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And elaborating on what OJ just spoke and said, we not only did that in utilities, but it was my understanding that the BSW, Brazil, Saxy, and Wilson contract was for legal advice on the Ascension Sewer LLC public-private partnership, which everybody's going to learn tonight in utilities is more a hybrid, if I can get this right. Come on, OJ. help me.
I don't think I got it right
It's a
myself.
hybrid
Bob.
in investor utility / triple P, public-private partnership. But that's legal. So Ernst & Young, on the other hand, is financial, and that still didn't cover engineering. So I guess another question we should say is, I guess BSW also subcontracted in addition to Ernst & Young with, I believe it was HNTB, to look at some of the engineering aspects on top of financial and legal. Is that not correct?
It's my appreciation that Ernst & Young contracted HNTB to do the technical analysis, and that's reflected in the report.
That would be correct. Your analysis would be correct.
Which, for the members of the Utilities Committee that have this, it's 58 pages long, and I pray within the next hour when we adjourn this meeting and begin the new one that I chair, that everyone has read that.
Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none, are there any objections?
I object.
Roll call, Ms. Dawn.
Councilman Joseph,
Yes.
Councilman Satterly,
Yes?
Councilman Dipsy Lambert,
Yes.
Councilman Terry Cazzo,
Yes.
Councilwoman,
That's
sorry, Councilman Todd Lambert,
No.
Councilman Randy Kluot,
Yes.
Councilman Aaron Lawler,
Yes.
Councilman John Cagnolati,
Yes.
and Councilman Bill Dawson.
Yes,
Okay, so.
passed.
Yes.
Motion, thank you. Item number 8, approval of professional services contract with Energy to install street lighting on Edenborn Parkway. Ms. Shivers.
Good evening. On November 6, 2019, the Parish Project Management Department received a proposal to provide street lighting on Edenborn Parkway from St. Landry Road to about 300 feet from Alliance Safety Council. After review by the administration, it is their recommendation to seek your approval and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this service not to exceed $70,934.96.
Motion.
A motion by Councilman Kluot, second by Councilman Lawler. I have a question. Is that's coming out of the lighting district?
Yes, sir.
And
That
that's,
was my question. Good.
there's Councilman
Yes.
Kluot's question.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, he wants to know, did you talk to Councilman
Yes.
Travis Turner?
No, I didn't ask that.
We have an approval letter. It's in there.
Okay, any questions, any discussion, any opposition? Motion's adopted. I'm gonna take just time out for a minute here and forgot to recognize the parish president-elect, Mr. Clint Quentmo is here tonight, and we also have Councilman-elect, Mr. Corey Ogeron. I would appreciate them coming and trying to learn tonight. Item number 9, change order number 1 to master contract between Ascension Parish and Doyle Electric for additional scope to monitor incoming line voltage for a 2-week duration at the Ascension Parish Jail for an additional amount of $2,800 for a total contract amount of $122,800. Is
Motion.
Dean, okay, never mind. I got a motion
Second.
by Councilman Lambert,
Second.
second by Councilman Satterly. Questions? Any opposition? Motion's adopted. Item number 10, certificate of substantial completion, Doyle Electric, Ascension Parish Jail generator.
Motion.
Got a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Cagnolati. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion's adopted. Item number 11, cooperative endeavor agreement between Ascension Parish Government and Ascension Economic Development Corporation, AEDC, to promote and develop industry, commerce, and economic development in the parish.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Kluot, second by Councilwoman Casso. Y'all don't want to call up Lisa or Dwight? No?
No.
Questions? Any opposition? Hearing none, motion's adopted. Thank y'all for coming. Dwight, Lisa. Item 12, certificate of substantial completion, Gonzales Electric, Lamar Dixon North RV lot panel replacement.
So
Dean,
moved, Mr.
got a
Chairman.
motion by
Second.
Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilwoman Casso. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion's adopted. Item number 13, amendment number 2 to professional services contract between Ascension Parish Government and Clean Earth of, what does that say?
I don't know.
Alabama.
One of them, is this a foreign contract?
The underdog.
I can't say that word.
It's not dirty.
Alabama for additional waste tires collected at the Household Hazardous Materials Collection Day with an increase of $1,115 for a total contract not to exceed an amount of $50,880.05.
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Cagnalotti, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Questions?
A lot of rope swings.
Exactly. Opposition? Hearing none, motion adopted. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Most welcome.
Listen, next time we're gonna consider a law about this, where it is state the residents
Yeah,
here.
we gotta.
Have to
move
sub that out to
Louisiana.
somebody.
Item number 14, approval of ordinance to declare equipment in the IT department as surplus and introduce at next council meeting.
So moved.
Cody, you have this.
Yeah, you have it in your package, just an approval to declare certain movable property from the
So
Revenue
moved.
Department.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Joseph, second by Councilwoman Casso. Questions? Opposition? Motion adopted. Item number 15, approval of ordinance to acquire a parcel of property for Fire District Number 3, fire protection, and move to introduce at the next council meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Satterly, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Questions? Opposition? Motion adopted. Item number 16, renewal of contract with Thompson Consulting Services LLC for disaster debris monitoring and related services. Do we need Rachel? I don't see her
So
here.
moved.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Cagnalotti. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion adopted. Monthly contract report, Sandra. There she is.
Good evening. You have before you a list of all the contracts that were entered into in the month of October. I'll let you look over it if you have any questions.
Thank you guys for coming. No questions?
Mr.
You got a
Chairman.
question? Yeah, Mr. Lambert.
Will this complete the 14, one of 14 on the engineering companies?
Yes.
So this will take care of all of them?
Right, the first 14, 7, I'm sorry, we received in last month, and then these are the other 7. So that's all 14.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Item number 18, revenue and expenditure report, Amanda.
Before you are the financial reports for the month of September 2019, which reflects 75% of the year. The first 2 pages are your major funds, which is general fund, sales and use tax district number 1, sales and use tax district number 2, East Ascension drainage, and road and bridge. The first column of the report shows you the actual year-to-date as of September 2018, and you can compare it to the actual year-to-date for September 2019. The next column is your encumbrance, which are obligations made by the parish either by a contract or a purchase order. The next column is the budget. And you have the remaining amount of the budget and the percent of the budget used so far this year. For general fund, your revenues are at 88%, expenditures are at 76%. For sales tax, sales and use tax district number 1, revenues are at 88%, expenditures are at 84%. Sales and use tax district number 2, revenues are at 85%. Expenditures are at 82%. East Ascension drainage, revenues are at 85%, expenditures at 118%. Road and bridge operating fund, revenues are at 84%, expenditures are at 73%.
So can you give us a little detail on the East Ascension drainage?
Right. That upside down.
On East Ascension, the 118.
Yeah.
If you look at the encumbrances, you have $7.5 million encumbered, which is contracts and purchase orders that's obligated.
that on the Marvin Road?
And,
Ditch contracts, too.
that's the ditch guys, no.
That's where most of it is.
That's
It's
where
in that
most of it-
7.5 million. Is that Marvin Bro? Is that the, do you know, Ken? No. Okay. Any other questions for Amanda?
The report also shows you the projected fund balance for each of the funds.
Courthouse still looking good, huh?
The next 2 pages are your enterprise funds, and that includes Lamar Dixon, Parish Utilities of Ascension, ACUD number 1 and ACUD number 2. Lamar Dixon revenues are at 55%, expenditures are at 66%. Parish Utilities of Ascension revenues are at 75%, expenditures at 113%. And again, that's mostly because of encumbrances as well. The 3.1 million is encumbered, which is contracts or purchase orders that has been issued for the year. ACUD number 2 revenues are at 68%, expenditures are at 90%. ACUD number 1 revenues are at 73%, expenditures are at 99%. Page 5 is a list of your major capital project funds. Road and Bridge Capital Project, East Ascension Capital Project, Courthouse Capital, and Move Ascension Capital. Road and Bridge Capital revenues are at 12%, expenditures are at 74%. East Ascension Drainage Capital revenues are at 85%, expenditures are at 24%. Courthouse Capital revenues are at 4,908%. Expenditures are at 257%. And you can see that the majority of that is the encumbrance for the contract, $26 million.
4,000%? No,
4,000%.
almost 5,000%.
Almost 5,000%,
That
4,900.
is because we didn't have revenue coming in from, I think it was the
The clerk of
clerk
court
of court.
and the sheriff, yeah,
Right.
put up the extra money. When the budget is amended next Thursday, that will go to 0%.
Right.
Promise.
Promise. Sure will.
Move Ascension revenues are at 111%, expenditures are at 23%. The last page of the report gives you the cash and investment position of the parish as of September 2019 compared to September of 2018. The total cash for September 2019 is $280,527,187, of which $251,911,905 is restricted. $28,615,282 is unrestricted. Compared to September 2018, total cash of $262,189,060, with $230,913,535 being restricted, and $31,195,525 unrestricted. Further down, the report also reflects the breakdown between unrestricted and restricted cash for 2019 and gives a listing of the funds associated with each. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Good questions for Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. No questions. We also had two other councilmen-elect come in, Mr. Chase Malonzo and Michael Mason. Thank you. All right, item number 19, bid items to accept the lowest responsive bid. Ms. Shivers.
Good evening again. On October 15, 2019, the purchasing department received 3 bids for safe coat infield top dressing. I think that's like crushed brick. After review, the Ascension Parish Recreation Department recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Greenpoint AG, and to authorize the parish
Second.
president.
Got a motion by Councilman Kluart, second by Councilwoman Casso. Any questions, any opposition? Item B.
On October 15, 2019, the purchasing department received 1 bid for bunker gear and accessories for Fire District Number 1. After review, Fire District Number 1 recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by BGS LLC.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Kluart, second by Councilwoman Casso. Discussion, opposition. Item C.
I think I'm out of order a little bit. Let
Huh?
me see. I'm out of order.
Well, C, doesn't C come after B?
I have numbers versus,
Engineered wood fiber is the next one, Joan.
I got so many.
Yeah, Phillips Bark Processing.
Engineered wood fiber?
Well, engineered wood product. Might be the new alphabet.
Well, she got a bunch.
I didn't get the new
I
alphabet.
have numbers.
Okay.
Go with what you got next. What do
Joan.
you have next?
I got
We'll
it.
figure out where you are.
Engineered wood fiber bid. On
Okay.
October 16, 2019, the purchasing department received 5 bids for engineered wood fiber. After review, the purchasing department of recreation recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Phillips Bark Processing, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any
So moved.
applicable.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Casso, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Discussion, opposition. Next item.
On October 22, 2019, the purchasing department received 3 bids for breathing air compressor, fill station, and air storage system. After review, Fire District Number 1 recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Delta Fire and Safety, DBA Louisiana
Motion.
Emergency
Motion by
Equipment.
Councilman Kluart, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Discussion, opposition. Next item.
On September 12, 2019, the purchasing department received 3 proposals for stormwater permitting consulting services. After review, the parish non-engineering selection committee recommend accepting the highest scored proposal submitted by CK Environmental Consultants, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this service.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Lawler. Any discussion? Any opposition? Next item.
On October 8, 2019, the purchasing department received 1 bid for reinforced concrete arched and non-arched pipe. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Design Precast and Pipe, and to authorize the parish president to enter
So
into
moved.
any.
Motion by Councilwoman Casso, second by Councilman Cagnotti. Any discussion, any opposition? Next item.
On November 5, 2019, the purchasing department received 4 bids for the lighting replacement for Jackie Robinson Park. After review, the Recreation Department recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by GeoSport Lighting Systems, and to authorize the parish president.
Motion by Councilman Kluart, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion, any opposition? Next item.
On October 24, 2019, the purchasing department received 1 bid for shaving screened cottonwood or white pine shaving.
Left out
Af-
the limestone.
After review, the purchasing department and Lamar Dixon recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted
Got
by.
a motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion, any opposition?
On October 24, 2019, the purchasing department received 2 bids for bridge material and round timber piles. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by MCM Forest Lumber Company, and to authorize the.
Motion by Councilman Kluart, second by Councilwoman Casso. Discussion, opposition. Next.
On October 31st, 2019, the purchasing department received 4 bids for pump sand and river silt. After review, the Department of Public Works recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Renee's Trucking for pump sand, Renee Industries, and Ernest Martin for river silt. And to authorize
Motion by
the
Councilman
Second.
Cluett, second by Councilwoman Casso. That item, we got limestone, Jones, that we didn't get.
Motion for,
Okay, I missed
H.
number 8. I'm sorry.
H, hotel.
Whichever one it is for you for the limestone,
Mine
the 57.
Motion, Mr.
Mine
Chairman.
or numbered. On
Is H
October
the eighth letter?
10th, 2019, the purchasing department received 4 bids for limestone. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting
That's
the
worse than
lowest
Alabama.
responsive bid submitted by Bear Industries for the gray limestone, 57, 89, and 610. Who here? Vulcan Materials for number 57 Mexican, and Renee Industries for number 610.
Got a motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Cluett. Any opposition? Item 20,
Motion adjourned.
a motion to adjourn. Any opposition?
How long